if you look around social media and look at what people have said about Caleb Williams this NFL season, you would think that he was having a terrible season. You would think that he wasn't one of the top quarterbacks of the 2025 NFL season. But if you thought that, you would be dead wrong, because Caleb Williams is the NFL new nightmare. He's changing, and the league should be on notice. Welcome back to Bears Yard. This your boy Vipe. And yes, we have to talk about Chicago Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. So, we all know that the dude was the #1 pick in the 2024 NFL draft, probably the most hyped quarterback of the past 15 years outside of Andrew Luck coming into the NFL. But one of the biggest criticisms for Caleb Williams coming out of college was that he didn't play on time. He had his biggest highlights out of structure. People thought that coming into the league, he would not be able to play in a offense on time with timing and different things like that, right? So fast forward here to 2025, the Chicago Bears hired Ben Johnson some 8 months ago, and you still have the critics out there like Colin Cowherd. That's right, Colin, don't try to flip-flop, son. I see you out there. But you got people like Cowherd talking about how Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams wouldn't mesh well together because Ben Johnson has a timing offense and you have to play on time. And he talked about how that's not Caleb Williams' thing. Well, we are 3 games into the 2025 season, and I don't think that Colin's defense is holding up very well. Number one, Caleb Williams, 3 games into his second year, is already one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He actually leads the league in touchdown passes right now. Yeah, 7. I talked about this in a previous video. He only has 1 interception versus 7 touchdowns, so he's doing a thing. Today, he just won the NFL's NFC Player of the Week, I think Offensive Player of the Week. He also won the FedEx Aaron Ground Player of the Week as well. So his efforts are starting to be noticed here in the league. But I want to talk about some of the things that happened this past week versus the Dallas Cowboys and talk about how these things allow you to notice the changes in Caleb Williams' game. So, if we go back to this game versus the Cowboys, he threw for 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. But as I mentioned in the last video, the most important stat of the day for Caleb Williams is that he took 0 sacks. Now, he took 68 sacks last year, which led the NFL. I think it was like 3rd most all time for a quarterback in the league, but it was bad. The Bears couldn't protect him. He held the ball too long, this, that, and the other. Fast forward here to this past Sunday, he took 0 sacks. Now, a lot of that has to do with the offensive line holding up, but a lot of that also has to do with Caleb Williams getting the ball out of his hands. That's one of the big things that was a knock on him coming out of college. He held the ball too long. He played hero ball. His time to throw was like over 3 seconds, which is pretty bad for an NFL quarterback. But clearly, if he took 0 sacks this past week, he's getting better at that, obviously, which means the game is starting to slow down for him. Not to mention, obviously, he has the improved offensive line in front of him, although he did take 4 sacks the previous week. So, I mean, the jury's still out on that revamped offensive line. But I think the game is starting to slow down for Caleb Williams. He's starting to go through his progressions faster, understand what's happening in front of him. For whatever reason, there's some belief out there that he can't read defenses. I don't think that's true. I think he's very adept at reading defenses and figuring out what the defense is trying to do to him. And he is adjusting and going about his business. Also in the game this past week, the Bears did not have a single pre-snap penalty. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. The Chicago Bears offense did not have a single pre-snap penalty. And I've talked about before how those can be drive killers, momentum killers. Well, the Bears kept driving the ball up and down the field versus the Cowboys because, again, no pre-snap penalty. Caleb Williams was on fire, hitting all types of receivers. I think he hit like 6 or 7 different receivers in that game. Obviously, again, the 4 touchdowns, and he was just a house of fire. He could not be stopped. But when you don't have any pre-snap penalties, that allows the offense to play on time, play in rhythm, and most importantly, you don't have the offense cutting off its nose to spite its face because you're not moving backwards. You're only going forward. And when you go forward, it leads to your team scoring 31 points. So what has happened with Caleb Williams? Why are we seeing a different Caleb Williams this NFL season? The answer is obvious. Ben Johnson. He is now paired with an offensive mastermind, an offensive guru, an offensive coach with a proven track record of success in the NFL. Caleb Williams is starting to buy into what Ben Johnson is preaching. And if you don't believe me, Listen to this clip from Caleb when he was asked about how he felt winning the NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Ben said you were a little bit hesitant to sort of bask in that honor when he brought it up in front of the team earlier on. Why?
It's Wednesday now, and it's time to move on and focus on the Raiders. And obviously we got a tall task at hand with, like we talked about with Max and those defensive players, and obviously that explosive offense and guys on the special team. So we got a tall task at hand. Every week is important, and every game, every moment, and that was a good moment we had on last Sunday, and it's time to move on to Raiders.
Did you hear his answer? Did he not sound just like Ben Johnson? But again, this tells me that he is really buying in to what Ben Johnson is preaching him, and he's executing this buy-in in practice, and it's starting to show up in the game, and his offense is starting to look more gelled each and every week. And if this continues, I think Caleb Williams' potential is limitless because we know he has the talent. Now he has the coaching to match that talent, and if he takes it to coaching, and by all accounts he is, good luck stopping him. As long as that offensive line stays healthy and he stays healthy, good luck trying to contain Caleb Williams. The dude is a freak. We know how much of a freak he is. The NFL, you have been officially put on notice. Caleb Williams is coming for you, and I don't think you can stop him. But let me know, how are you all feeling about Caleb Williams right now? Drop a comment and make sure you subscribe to the Yard so you can come back for more of this Bears Yard content.